Welcome aboard the new Tier 10 USS Burrows. Let's take a look at how powerful she really is, with your captain, Ripper.
Burrows sailing fast and free. Tier 10 thunder, fear her legacy. Through the storm, her power grows. Victory sails with mighty Burrows.
Hey team, this is Ripper. You guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun video. Finally got the USS Tier 10 Burrows, and we're going to take a look at it and see how it functions and how it plays, what kind of play tactics and styles with it. But as always, before we get in, like, subscribe button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. We hit 4,000 subs at the top right corner. I'm going to put a link. Make sure you click on that link, click on that video, and if you want to enter in the drawing for 25,000 doubloons, make sure you put your gamer tag name and the server you play on. Sorry, Asia server, I cannot support you other than I'm only playing on the EU and the North American server. But as always, thank you guys so much for your support. On our way to 8,000 subs, we'll do another premium giveaway at then. So let's get right to it. Tech tree line, new destroyer line, focused on gunboating with SAP shells. This is the Tier 10 Burrows. If I had to say it real quick, sum it up, TLDR, this is basically a better Forrest Sherman in my personal opinion. And we'll see why. We'll take a look at it. So right off the bat, we're also going to also never avoid talking about TTPs with it being a good destroyer player and how we can always get better and do the best we can to support our team. Notice we're at Charlie cap right here, going right into the cap, engine boosting in, and we only have a Napoli in Wisconsin, so we got to be very careful. Looking at the lineup, they have a Burrows and a Hull as well as a Hariguma, so we got to be careful there. Only one radar, Des Moines. Oh, there's the Hull right there, my favorite destroyer, actually. And we're going to see how we're going to engage this guy. So watch how the SAP shells, again, these are double-barreled SAP shell guns, and let's take a look at how they operate here. So let's take the first salvo, taking 3,200 damage. I would have not been able to get that in any 4,400 damage right there. So we've already knocked off 9,000 health right there, and another hit. Let's see, what do we get? 10,600 health in the matter of a few seconds right there. So look at the kind of firepower you're dealing right there. Double barrel SAP guns. Again, it's a better Forrest Sherman in my personal opinion, because Forrest Sherman, I wish, had double barrels. They only have single barrels if you haven't seen it, but it makes up for it for, like, I guess you could say better firepower. But what's the point of firepower if you can't hit anything? I've seen a lot better accuracy with the Burrows, especially at the longer ranges. Very comfortable, great reload rate for what it is. It's kind of like a gearing reload rate, maybe a little bit higher than gearing. Now, this is not as realistic. I'm trying to grind up. I don't have a captain for it, but I can build for Fearless Brawler later. But again, that's up to you guys if you want to do longer range Fearless Brawler. Right now, this is non-long range, which you get out to about 13.1, which is very comfortable in my personal opinion. I think 13.1 is a decent range, and normally I'm not engaging out, unless I'm in a hull or something, engaging out to 14 kilometers or 15 kilometers, but I think once I get past 13 kilometers, it gets very, very deadly and just wonky. I mean, the shots are just all over the place. I think I'm very comfortable with this 12 to 13 kilometer range. It's a very good engagement range, but here's a gimmick. You can get these new smoke on demand, if you want to call it that. Those smoke generators, which you turn on, turn off with a cooldown period in between. I like that better. Okay, here we go. Let's stop here for take a look at the whole engagement again. Notice right there, I'm shooting. He's angled, and I got 3,500 damage on him right there. I didn't want to do a long-term engagement because he's got support. Unfortunately, I don't have support, so I have to smoke up and kind of wait it out and figure out, okay, how do we do this? We're going to just, play it safe. Watch our detection range with the hull is the same, equivalent. 6.5, 6.5 is what I built for it, so not bad. Look, we spot each other right there. He's got a firing penalty probably. That's what happened. Yep, he's firing again. We can turn off the smoke, and then there's a cooldown period. So you notice that your cooldown is 20 seconds if you turn it off, and then 15 seconds when you're in it. So just keep that in mind. How do you play this thing? Again, I feel like this is kind of that medium range kind of gunboat support boat, ship. Sorry, my terminology there. It is more that mid-range supporting destroyer, and then of course capping at the more later term of the game if you survive. Because why? We don't have any heals. That's the downside. The USS Hull here has got tons of heals. Okay, so he can heal back all his mistakes. I can. The only thing I can do is mitigate my mistakes with the smoke, and then the engine boost is pretty good. Only 10% though. The Hull gets at least about 15%, and then other destroyers get 30%. Like say Smolin, right? Not very good in my personal opinion for the engine boost, but hey, it's there. It's better than 8%. So 10%, not bad. How do you play this thing? This is more, like I said, more of that mid-range support gunboat role, more long-range gunboating, kind of like how you play the hull, and then later on you'll cap in the later game once everybody's kind of weeded out. But really, your initial gameplay style is to get that first kill, get a maximum damage, and then disengage. You don't want to stick around the cap. You have no hydro. You have no radar. You're there to just basically spot, gunfire when you can, and then when you take too much damage, you really just smoke up and kind of just stop the detection and then start over again. And that's kind of this guerrilla hit and warfare tactic that I do kind of enjoy in World of Warships lately, because that's all you can really do is this long-range guerrilla tactic where you go, hey, I'm going to fire, take some damage, and if I can, I'll smoke up and disengage and start over again. And that's really good. That's all you can do, because you don't have any heals. You can't sustain long-term engagements. Kind of like the Schlieffner. I'm not going to sit here and try to duke it out with his secondaries, although his secondaries are not hitting me for some reason, but notice how much damage we're doing on this guy. So let's take a look at this engagement. 2,000 damage right there, and my gun turret gets knocked out. We'll repair. We'll smoke up right here. And look, I'm just going to get a 2.7 reload in smokes. That's why Fearless Brawler wouldn't work in this situation. The Fearless Brawler would work if I'm like open water gunboating, but eventually, again, I cannot sustain long-term engagement, so it depends on how you want to build it. And then right here, we're going to see if we can support our Seaber, which is also that new released, I guess you could say, Tier 10 secondary Kremlin. So take a look at that if you want to look at it. But we're going to support him as much as we can. Look, the Schlieffen's got 21,000 health. We're going to see if we can whittle this guy down as much as possible. Look at 2,900 damage right off the bat on one salvo. So very, very effective. He's angled. I'm still taking 1980. I'm seeing that this thing is a very, very good... like you said, very good sap kind of dealing out shell. Now watch this. We're going to switch to HE, and then the HE does amazing damage as well. The pen is only 23 millimeter, but it's a 137 millimeter gun. So these are some big ass guns for a destroyer. So I like it. It's kind of like in that Kleber Gdansk range. But look, what we're going to do, we're going to just keep shooting HE shells and eventually get that last salvo out. Can we get it? And there it is. We kill the Schlieffen with HE. So again, very, very versatile. It's a better Forrest Sherman, because why? Sherman only has sap shells. Oh no, forgive me. I take it back. I'm thinking of another destroyer. It does have HE on the Forrest Sherman. Correction right there. Correction right there. There is HE and sap on the Sherman. Again, I feel like the double barrel on this thing does a lot better in Sherman. The other ship that is only one caliber, I think Gdansk is only HE, and there's another. Can't think of what I'm thinking of right. Druid only has AP. There's a couple other destroyers out there that only have one type of ammunition. I like the fact that there's the option to shoot HE and SAP. That's why I like about this, because you can flip between each one and use the one determining based upon your situation. Again, correction there. Forrest Sherman does have HE. It's just it doesn't pen as much. It's a smaller caliber gun. This is 137. This has got double barrel sap guns, double barrel HE. So I like that, the double barrel option, just like a Gearing or Daring, the Vampire, things of that nature. Very, very strong and powerful. I like the option switching between that. So very strong. Now the torpedoes are single single launcher with I believe four torpedo tubes. They only drop about 10.5 kilometers there. So watch it. There they are. No, wait, never mind. Man, I'm getting everything wrong. Too many ships. There are 5 tubes, sorry. 5 tubes, 10.5 kilometers, 66 knots, so kind of standard, I guess you could say Fletcher-ish, Gearing kind of torpedoes, but they only go 10.5 kilometers. They do decent damage. They're better than the Holland. 19,000 damage, not bad. 66 knots, 7.9 reaction time, so they're there. And I've been getting random hits here and there. I just launch them into a channel, and there I get it. So, overall, what do I think of this thing? I like it, honestly. This is a much, much better Sherman. I think I may have to put the Sherman to rest and kind of play the Burrows a little bit more. Once I get that Fearless Brawler going, though, and maybe if you even put Halsey on this thing, if you can get, like, Confederate, which I have knocked out Confederate a lot in this game, I mean, it's very, very strong. The other thing I like about the Burrows is the game winner, because I've noticed I'm getting a lot of these comeback wins because I'm just surviving, going out there spotting, and the quick smokes, the on-demand smokes are really useful because I don't have to use all of it. And then many times I'm like stuck with, when I win a game or lose a game, I'm still stuck with 1 or 2 smokes, or I don't have any smokes left. This one, I've noticed I've kept the smokes throughout the duration of the game, and I've used them a lot better. And again, I'm a good manager of resources, so I like this, the fact that it's smoke on demand. Notice we're engaging the Oshino here, and this is what the bread and butter of it is. Melting cruisers as well. Not only is it good at shooting battleships and destroyers, but cruisers, man, I'm sorry. This thing really is just going to ruin your day. It's an annoying destroyer because, look, we're in smoke. Nobody's spotting us. We're out of range of radar. And look, we're just going to engage. Look how much damage we knock off of these cruisers. I'm telling you, like 1900 damage at a time. It's just not sustainable. And then the smoke pops up and you're gone. I mean, it's that annoying. And again, I think World of Wargaming is bringing a lot of these smoke on-demand ships out, and is really going to break the game, honestly, in my personal opinion. It's kind of like submarines. And we all know how I don't like and dislike submarines. The ability to go underwater and just disengage for the entire battle all at once is ridiculous, right? Just for submarines. Now you're introducing that into destroyers, which is, I guess, good for me since I'm a destroyer main. But with Laffy coming out with it, the Burrows coming out with it, is there another destroyer out there that has these on-demand smokes? I don't know. But the Laffy and the Burrows right now are literally going to have this annoying smoke screen, and it's going to be game-changing. Oh, and also, take a look at this, guys. See the back turret right there? Look at that. Back turret is 360. I love it. That means we can do these nose-in tactics engagements, and I can really drive in around 3/4 speed, approach an area of threat easily, slowly, and if I want to shoot, I can shoot, and then I have the ability to stop much quicker from a 3/4 speed down to a 1/4 speed. I mean, there's only two quarters there to get the smoke screen going, because if I'm at full speed, remember, I have to slow down 3 steps, 3 notches there, in order to activate the smoke screen a little bit. It takes a little bit longer to actually hide myself in the smoke screen. So that's why I always stay at a 1/4 speed to 3/4 speed to give myself that flexibility that if I need to disengage, I can. So watch this. So I'm slamming on the brakes from 3/4 speed. Look how fast I got to 1/4 speed, and then I pop the smoke. Now that I've popped the smoke there, I'm disengaged. Nobody can see me. I'm shooting for free. I don't take a penalty in fire reload rate. 2,400 damage against a Kashiro. I mean, come on. Look at this. This thing is a powerhouse. It's a workhorse. And then you notice this is where I do a lot of my wins in this game, is because of little tactics like that. It's really difficult to counter this. And boom, I turn off the smoke. I still got 49 seconds of smoke left. And now I can go play somewhere else. I can go figure out, okay, who do I need to kill now? Let's work on the Montana. Again, this thing is literally will destroy everything in its path. Now I'm going to go full gunboat here, where if it fearless brawler, I would get the 2.6 down to another 2.4 second reload. So even faster, and if you get Halsey activated, another 10%, you are literally a machine gun with double barrels. This is exactly what I wanted Forrest Sherman to be. I'd like Forrest Sherman to have double barrels, and guess what? They answered it, and this is pretty much it. The Burrows, very, very strong. Even the Forrest Sherman doesn't have heals. So what would you rather have? You know, a Sherman double barrel, or sorry, Sherman regular single barrel, or a Sherman double barrel, and you get the quick smokes. The Sherman has a problem because it only has 3 smokes, and once you pop it, he can't turn it off. And then it's gone. And there it goes. Look what we did right there. Montana, 121,000 damage right here. Haragumo's probably going to take a major hit right here. So, again, this is very good because the sap shells do so much damage that if he goes in the smoke, I get 1 shot off on him. Boom, it just nails him. He'll go away, okay? So, right there, look at that. We'll speed it up here. Let's see if we can go against my favorite ship, the Hull, but I'm sorry, I have to destroy you because we got to win the game. Look at the comeback we did right here. You thought we were going to lose because we abandoned Charlie, right? Unfortunately, in World of Warships, you cannot give up because, like I've always said, you can turn around a game just like that. Notice that the enemy team had a ship advantage, and all of a sudden, they're all gone. Because it's simple mistakes like that, and especially with the Burrows, I'm seeing so many games that I've turned around the Burrows that it's kind of eerie. I cannot believe that I can do this in like this little ship and with no heals. I got 11,900. It starts with 28,800 health. Very good. Now watch this. I'm 3/4 speed. I spot front turrets only here. Now watch what I can do against a Hull. He's got 21,000 health here. Look what I did. 1980 damage there. I did 3960 right there. 3960. This is not sustainable against the Hull. I'm telling you, the Hull cannot survive something like this. He'll break my gun turret, but it doesn't matter. Even with 1 barrel or 1 turret, look at this. Boom, he's gone. Just like that, I melted literally 20,000 health off a Hull, which is my favorite destroyer, by the way. But I'm going to have to rethink that now that I've got this Burrows with the quick smoke, and then it's very deadly against it. If you don't have Hydra, you got no radar against this thing, what are you supposed to do? And we win the game. Look at that. Winning the game in a comeback. That is wild. I got the 1. I didn't think I got E for that. I got the 1 for this one. 141,000 damage, 2 kills, 4 caps, captured, assisted, spotted. It did everything I was supposed to do in a destroyer, and guess what happens? You're number 1 on the team for doing that. Do the basic gameplay of a destroyer, and you can win games that way and come back. Amazing. Potential damage is off the chain as well. Everybody wants to fire at you, especially at long range. It seems hard to hit at you. I've been getting 1 million to 1.5 million potential damage. I've even got combat scout a lot. I'm spotting a lot. And I'll show you a game in a bit where I get over 200,000 spotting damage. Incredible. So you are doing the work. Look at this, 136,000 damage on sap shells. That is game-changing, game-breaking almost. So very, very powerful, and you get a lot of chunk of change as well in this thing. Let's take a look at another comeback game. Again, Burrows, I'm getting so many comeback games with this ship. All right, let's take a look at Hotspot Domination with Burrows. Another comeback win. This one's got a carrier in it, so let's take a look at that. The AA on this thing is pretty trash, horrendous. I don't recommend it. No, I don't recommend any ship against carriers for that matter. I mean, they're pretty rough. But let's take a look at this, how this game plays out here. The Burrows with this, again, being very cautious not to go in the cap. Okay, watch this. I'm going to see. Look at the AA. The AA, what can it do? I've only done 2,000, 3,000. He gets a bomb drop on us. And look how much damage he does. Oh, my Lord. 5K damage off of me. That's it. Or that's not, I mean, that's ridiculous. 5K damage off of me. That's almost like a fifth of my damage and my health right there. That's incredible on Essex, where he didn't have to sacrifice anything. Enough ranting on the carrier gameplay, but basically you saw the carrier, the HE damage. It only has like 2 flak bursts maybe, and it has continuous damage of about 200, 176, something like that. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to get a drop on you no matter what and do that kind of damage. So I don't recommend the AA. It doesn't even have DFA, so that's the only downside. Again, you can see the torpedo reload right there, 77 seconds, so 1 torp launcher, 5 tubes. Like I said, not a destroyer boat either way, but it's better than the Sherman's. At least I get like 5 launchers instead of like 2 on each side. And again, the reload rate's not bad either. Okay, so here's the AA again. You get 3,300 damage on the flak burst here and there. I think there's the damage on a flak burst is 1,700, and you get 2 of them. So I don't know. I mean, what does a flak burst do to these carriers these days? They're just ridiculous. We smoke up immediately right there. Again, look how much time I have. 187 seconds, and I gotta wait at least 15 seconds of it inside. Or I'm sorry, I have to be inside of it for 15 seconds before I can turn it off. And it does this annoying click sound. So when you hear the click, you can turn it off, and then you hear the click again. And then obviously, if you see it green, you can use it once this goes down. But the clicking sound, I don't know. Wargaming needs to do a better job there. Wargaming, if you're listening, make sure this thing somehow lets you know that you've spent 15 seconds. Maybe there should be either another timer or go make it turn something else red, or I don't know. Make it more obvious, because it's hearing a clicking sound, it doesn't really help me to know that, hey, I should turn it off. I know it pops up like a warning up here that says, hey, you've used it half the time, or you only got 25%. It's like really trying to warn you, but and I think it should do a better job in that regard. Maybe better, like a red light or something. Say, hey, you've been in it for 15 seconds. You can turn it off now. Do a better job, more social engineering. I used to have to learn that at the academy. You had to learn human factors engineering, do buttons, switches, lights, whatever works in the airplane. So maybe Wargaming needs to do a little bit of human factors engineering to figure out how to best utilize buttons and user interface systems. All right, we've capped Charlie like I'm always doing. I'm always capping, even though I don't recommend that in the Burrows. But if you can see that the majority of the threats are outside of the cap, then yeah, maybe you could dip here and there, take a risk. I capped it, so let's run around here, and let's see. The maneuverability is great. I think it slows down very slowly, even with engine boost. It takes a while to slow down. I don't feel very comfortable in it. I don't like dodging and juking this thing. I just keep it full throttle and just kind of weave in and out. I think it's such a small design and hull ship that it's hard to hit because of that slim profile or small profile, as opposed to the bigger ships, the bigger destroyers. Much easier to hit at range. Notice I'm shooting at about 12-kilometer range here, and yet these guys are still able to hit me, so maybe just guys are getting better at aiming, I guess. Look at the damage we're doing on a Brennan cruiser right here. So look at these ranges. Very, very nice, very comfortable. And we're getting great damage. Look at that, 4950. I feel like I'm in an Elbing right here with these double-barrel sap guns. Again, sap shells, definitely busted kind of ordnance. But hey, you know what? We'll take it. That's what they give us. Let's see how much damage we can do on this. And let me make it smaller so you can see the aiming here. Let's see what kind of damage we're doing on them. Look at that, 4,100 damage. I would not be able to get that on any other destroyer except for maybe like a Elbing, maybe a Gdansk sometimes. Yeah, great firepower. I'm telling you, it is a powerful mechanism. And we got our torpedoes back. We got our smoke back. I feel very comfortable because I can always disengage. Like here. I want to go undetected. Boom, pop the smoke. Disengage. I'm that guerrilla war fighter right there. So now when I wait 15 seconds, notice that it'll just click. Listen to it. There, you hear that click? And then I was just constantly tapping T to turn the damn thing off to save my smoke. I'm sorry I'm cheap like that. I have to save money. Anyways, oh, there's torpedoes right there. So the sap shells, very powerful. What other things I got about this? Notice we're losing right here. We lost all 3 caps here. I got nobody supporting me. I'm the only destroyer left. Can you believe that? Only destroyer left. So guess what I have to do? I have to survive at this point. Because why? If I die, the majority, the odds of the team, the enemy team winning, go up drastically. Just me me being in the game literally increases our odds of winning like 25% at least. I mean, at least the capability of to bring this game back and come back. Because if I'm dead, everybody just all of a sudden goes dumb. Every cruiser, every battleship player goes dumb once they lose their destroyer. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because of no spotting. They're afraid. Everybody starts running to the back of the map. I don't know. But the mere presence of me being in this game literally helps the entire team out. So that's why you essentially, if you are the last destroyer, just survive. At that point, stay alive. You can come back and cap everything back in the back end. And, you know, like I said, bring games back. Okay, look at that. Montana Nevsky all of a sudden go down. Look at that, how we just evened out the game right there. And all because, hey, we slowly whittle away one ship at a time. Notice I'm being very conservative here. There's a Shimakaze potentially right here. Not really sure where he is. We're going to turn back around, wait for Kashira to go in. He's got Hydro. Janan goes down on the opposite team. They're starting to lose. Look at those torpedoes right there. I see I'm very cautious. Okay, let's see if we can shoot this Yoshino long range. Again, when you see a cruiser this low health, start opening fire because you can always disengage, but look how much health. I mean, 2 salvos will literally melt a cruiser at that low HP. You saw how I took 4,900 off of that Brennus earlier. Guess what? You can do that on a Yoshino. You can do that on these light cruisers. Very, very strong, very ridiculous firepower. Okay, we're going to go in here with Kashiro right here. We're going to see if we can help him out. Got the engine boost going on. We got Smallin over here. I'm not going to play with the Smallin. He's got a way higher DPM. I haven't really tested to see how much I can really duke it out with the Smallin, but I already know I have the Smallin. I've been doing videos on it. It's got too much firepower for me to handle right now, especially since we got to survive and win the game. So we'll speed it up a little here. We'll see what can we do. We're going to wait this out. Where's the Brennus? Okay, now that we see the Brennus is over here, we're going to kind of wait this out and let our team kill him for us. We are going to spot at this point. We're going to go defensive and just spot for the team. You got to watch out for the carrier as well. And this is why we're going to be very conservative right here, just waiting. Notice I'm also getting a lot of spotting damage in these games. Again, the next game I show you will do 200,000 spotting damage, and that's kind of, you can see more of that ISR spotting role. Again, as a destroyer, you can still be effective just by spotting and torping. You don't have to fire your guns, but with these guns, you're going to have to use them. I mean, come on. The amount of firepower you're dealing out of here, you got to use them at this point. Okay, one more hit. Let's see if he takes a little bit more damage. He's down to 13. He fires. Okay, there he fires. I got a real... Ooh, nice hit right there. So we can get this kill right here. Come on, baby. Yes, there that. We're checking out destroyers. Look at how the game just turned around all of a sudden. We're capping 2 spots here. They're down to 5 ships. Look at this comeback. I mean, I've been getting so many games in this comeback. Oh, crap. Savea, my also favorite mini cruiser slash destroyer. I call it a mini destroyer, but or big brother destroyer, but it is basically a mini cruiser. Light cruiser. He's got the radar smoke. A lot of the gimmicks that come with it. A smorgasbord of consumables. And now we're going to have to run away. We cannot sit here and duke it out. But look at the maneuverability. Me dodging and weaving and juking. And even though he took a couple thousand damage off us, we're going to then smoke up. He loses his radar. We now have the smoke to cover our retreat. Notice how the tactic is I always am running away and using the smoke to cover my retreat. It works so well that regard, and you can use so many tactics with that in the Burrows. You can just pop the smoke, run away, let the smoke go behind you, and it just basically covers your retreat and makes you go undetected. It's very strong in that regard. Look at the kind of damage we're doing there. 2,900 on the Savea here. If I can get this kill, it'd be amazing. I already killed my favorite hull, and there it is. Savea goes down with Kashiro. Like I said, look at the comeback turnaround right there. I'm getting so many games with this in this ship. Very, very strong and powerful. And now we just go in and kill everybody. Let's see if we can take on the carrier. I believe the carrier... Oh, wait, hold on. Look at this. Shimakaze engagement there. And we kill him right there. I didn't even realize he was there. All of a sudden, he got spotted by radar, and we just blast him right there, taking so much damage off the Shimakaze. I mean, one salvo of sap shells is just so deadly. It's freaking deadly. What is the maximum DPM on that? Or there's 3,000 max DPM on that on one turret. That's I don't know how that works. 3,000 max damage. Anyways, it's a lot of damage. All right, let's take a look at Essex here. Let's rush the Essex. Let's see how we do against the carrier. This will be fun. All right. Just with its front turrets, it's amazing, too. Look, front turrets do amazing amounts of firepower. All right, we're getting ricochets at those angles right there. 2970. Look at that, 3,000 damage. 3,500 damage. My gosh. Insane in the membrane. Look at that. Oh, man. We did a amazing comeback, but we did nothing. We literally almost did nothing in that game. Only 2 kills. 57,000 damage, but the ability to come back, and then the on-demand smokescreen, I think, is what's the crucial key player component of this. With double-barrel SAP guns, really can, like I said, turn the tides of games. I have so many comeback games in that, and it was pretty wild. What kind of damage did we do on that Shimakaze? Okay, 2,004. Let me see the damage there. 4 hits that did 2,400 damage. That is wild. Okay, that is wild for 4 shell hits, and pretty amazing right there. All right, let's take a look at one last video with the spotting damage, see how this thing does spotting. All right, last game here, standard battle. I'm going to take a look at this. This is more focused on the spotting aspect of this ship. I mean, my gosh. I mean, I don't know why this ship spots better for some reason. I've been getting games where I'm spotting so much, and I have no idea why. I mean, I'm playing the same way. I just don't know why I'm getting so much. Maybe because I'm so far ahead, and I'm not afraid with the quick smokes that I'm actually pushing a lot more. Notice that we're pushing straight out here and going further. We're going to engage this Ohio right here, right about. Okay, look at this long range kind of engagement right here. So I'm not afraid, actually. So at these ranges, very comfortable. 12 kilometers, and let's see what kind of damage we can do on a battleship like an Ohio, which is very strong. Again, if I need to, I can always pop smoke. I can turn, I can slow down, I have so many options available to me to egress the situation and just stop the damage. And it's why it's so powerful right here. Okay, we're getting a little too close here. Is the secondary starting to fire, which they have very, very strong, accuracy. So notice that if we get outside 11.3 of his secondaries, that we can just shoot for free at this point. He's not going to hit us, he's not going to shoot at us. Even at these 12-kilometer ranges, really nice. Even angled. I mean, if I hit the superstructure with the SAP, it really is still effective. Look, I'm still doing damage, even though he's angled. All right, let's switch to the HE. Now, here's an example and demonstration of the HE, which is still very, very strong. 137 millimeter guns. These are big caliber guns, and they start fires just like anything else. Very, very good fire chance. I mean, for what we're doing here, what is it? 8%? That's okay. It's not as good as 12%. That I get on like I think I get Grosvenor or Cabroth, or somebody gets a freaking ridiculous fire chance I just played recently. But this is kind of like gearing kind of fire levels. It's not bad because I just got to fire, like I said, 3 double barrel guns, 6 barrels each. So essentially, if I can just shoot enough, I get a fire going, and it does its job. Even look, like I said, 37 millimeter does effective damage. It's nothing to gawk at. There it is. There's a fire. So like I said, the amount of fires you can start in this thing is pretty incredible too. All right, we're gonna play against the Spanish Andalusia. Let's see what the SAP shells do on this thing. 137. So the gimmick really is because they're big caliber SAP shells, you're getting 38 mil pin, which means you pin the majority of the ships. You're crossing that 32 millimeter threshold. It does very good. Look at these ranges. The cruisers have a hard time hitting you at these ranges, about 11 to 12 and a half range, so it's pretty deadly there, and I can pop smoke if I feel threatened. So very, very powerful gimmick here. Look, we're doing significant damage on the Andalusia. I'm going to see how much I can wither down this guy. Look, we're doing 990, but like I said, death by 1,000 paper cuts is still death by 1,000 paper cuts. Okay, got 1980 damage there. And meanwhile, you have to realize he's firing at me, distracted, that he's also getting shot at by my teammates. So that is another bad thing right there. He misses that shot, whoofs it right there, and we're going to keep firing. We're doing 990 right there. Let's see what else. Notice it's very, very comfortable to aim. The shell trajectories are very nice, very comfortable, nothing crazy. Similar to like Grozavoy kind of style levels, so it's not bad. He gets black by Stalingrad. See, again, that's what you're good at. You really are just sitting there drawing fire, and they totally forget that there's another dude aiming at you, and boom, he goes down. I mean, that's your job as a destroyer player. You're there to draw fire, spot for guys, take some damage, and then also fire back sometimes, and then all of a sudden allow your team to blast them to oblivion because they totally forgot that there's like 11 other guys shooting at you. Okay, we're going to fire some HE there. Start another fire right there. Again, sometimes you forget these are 137 millimeter guns. Have I said that enough? These are not the typical 127 millimeters you find on American destroyers. Like the Laffey right now, Laffey and Gearing have the 127 mils. Even the J. Humphreys 127 mil, but this thing is 137. You're starting to get bigger caliber guns. I mean, USS Hull has the 203 millimeter gun. So I think Wargaming is starting to go like maybe we should add like big-ass guns on destroyers now. Maybe that's the gimmick. I'm wondering, this Prince Van Orange is very, very accurate with his guns. Look at that. He's firing 12 guns, but look what kind of accuracy he's getting. He's nailing me every time. Look at that. He gets me right there. I mean, very, very powerful guns on this guy. And I had to really be careful because he was knocking all of my health away to the point where I had to disengage. Look, I already got Combat Scout. Look, I'm already at 156,000 damage spotting. Look at that. And all I did was just go ahead of the team and spot, I guess. I'm not really sure what I'm doing different. But right here, I'm going to slam on the brakes. I'm taking way too much damage right now. And look at this. Ouch. He starts to fire. That right there totally demoralized me. I was like, why is the Prince Van Orange so damn accurate? I mean, he was nailing me every single time, and he's kiting away. Again, you can't chase a kiting ship of any kind. But really, they have the advantage because you're driving into their shells, and it's hard to hit them kiting away in a sense. All right, let's see what we can do. So I got the airstrikes coming in. Let's see, what can I do? Ooh, we can spot the implement here. So this is also a good thing. We spot a lot of the carriers a lot lately in this thing. And guess what? I feel comfortable shooting at the carriers with SAP guns. So we're going to go loud right now. See if we can take out this carrier, which will help out our team greatly right now. Somebody's already capping our home point. Damn. Look at that, 4,400 damage. Oh, wait, Prince Orange is firing at me again. My God. Okay, we're going to have to disengage. We're not going to play around with the Prince Van Orange again. Like, his guns are way, way too accurate. Even with my dodging and juking, he's still knocking so much damage off of me right now. So, yeah, I'm going to have to slam on the brake right here. I cannot play around with this. We're going to smoke up. Yeah, see, like I said, this is the gimmick right here of being able to disengage at will with the smoke on demand. And, ouch, good Lord. He just took off 5,000 damage right there. And if he blind fires me one more time, I think we're done. This last shot better not hit us. Oh, dude. 242 health. Okay, we're stopping right here. At this point, there is no point in playing around with this. Oh, my God. Is this going to kill me? Woo, man. That was a close one. All right, now we're going into defensive mode here, where we are not going to shoot anymore. We are literally just going to spot the whole time. So I'll speed this up. A lot of it is kind of boring. Just spotting. Sometimes doing boring things literally wins the game. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but it does the job. So I'm going to continuously spot the entire team in the back here. Meanwhile, my team is going to actually cover the cap point. As you can see, our home base is getting capped right now. So I'll let them deal with that. But we're going to move forward with our Stalingrad and Conqueror and keep the fight to the enemy. Notice that also a good defense is offense. By pushing the enemy team to the back of their spawn, they're not attacking our home base, which is being covered right now by 5 dudes. So torpedoes, not the greatest thing, like I said. They're just random there, here and there. We're going to see if we can continuously spot, maybe get a lucky torpedo hit. Let's see, who can we pick on safely here? Notice I'm going to have to pick on a battleship, maybe this GK here, because if I smoke up, his guns are not facing me, maybe he won't be tempted to blind fire and get that lucky shell hit right now, because right now they have no idea where I'm at. No RPF on me. I'm just kind of running around. Oh, another bad thing about the guns is the turret traverse is very, very slow. It turns like what, 18 seconds for 180, so it's very, very slow. Ooh, look at this. Lucky torpedo hit. 13,000 damage. Not bad. Watch what we can do with these sap shells. If somebody just keeps spotting this guy, I literally can kill this guy. And we got to be careful that Prince Orange doesn't get a lucky blind fire. Not bad, not bad. Okay, nobody's spotting for us. Typical, right? Nobody's ever spotting for me. I spot for them. Oh, dude, there's that blind fire. Dude, had we stayed in the center right there, we would have totally died and lost the game. Because you're going to notice that this is a comeback win. It's all because I stayed alive. All right, we're not going to do that again. We almost blew that game. 111,000 damage, but we spotted 226. We are spotting more damage than we outputted. Isn't that incredible? And again, I'm seeing a lot of the games with the Burrows like this, and it's all because of this on-demand smoke. What I was talking about earlier was the turret traverse is very, very slow. It almost feels like Gdansk level, Kaliber level turret traverse. It's just very, very slow for my liking with pop smoke here. But majority of the time, you're kind of already aiming in the threat of the target anyways, so you're not too worried, and I'm not doing too many destroyer engagements. So I find that really I'm doing more of these long range, so I'm not too worried about turret traverse. So you guys can build it for turret traverse, but I don't see it as a major problem because I can always smoke up, I'm always running away, and I'm always facing the threat anyway. So again, I'm not chasing destroyers down, and I'm doing just the basics of spotting. And again, spotting, 244,000 spotting damage right now, 117,000 damage. Do we get another lucky torpedo hit? So there's the torpedo gameplay for you guys. What do you think? I'm still getting it done. 7,700 damage there. Not bad. And there he goes down. Dude, look at that. Torpedo hit from this submarine. I'm sorry if you guys hate submarines, dislike the submarines, and hopefully that'll go away. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Because I survive, I can now go in and take the cap or spot. So we're just spotting here. We'll spot the 2 ships in the back. They kill the GK and the Prince Van Orange. And look at that. We're spotting these guys. We're not going to shoot. I don't want to get shot at. We'll fire a torpedo here and there. And then we'll take some cheeky shots here. The game's about to end anyways. 1 minute left, and we win the game by time. Look at that. We killed the Ohio, too. Look at that. Look at the kind of damage we're doing. We're inflicting right here. 127,000 damage. And we'll just take this free kill if we can get it. Why not? And the range is comfortable. 13-kilometer range is very, very effective. They have to drive away from me. They're about 3 kilometers right at this point. Like from 10 to 13, not bad. Look at that. And we get a Confederate. Oh my gosh. Can we get this kill? Oh, steal kill from Yamato. Look at that right there. Confederate combat scout. 255,000 damage, 135,000 damage, and we win the game all because we stayed alive. Incredible. Burrows, definite thumbs up, definite must. And guess what? It's free to grind. You can get in the texture right now. I need to do more of these games to get the Fearless Brawler. Look at that, #1 in the team. Base XP 2,700. That is the kind of games you're getting in this thing. I'm telling you, it is freaking powerful. This is exactly what I wanted Forrest Sherman to be. This is kind of Kleber level of gun calibers, firepower. You're doing all types of damage there. Look at that spotting damage, 255,000. Here are all the people I spotted right there just to help out my team, and it really paid off in the long run. And I'm also getting paid, getting laid. Look at that. 712,000 credits right there. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Smash those buttons below if you like what we're doing here today. Also, enter the drawing. Go to my video that I put at the beginning of this video. Go into that 4,000 sub video. Go to that video. Go to that video. I've said it many times. Enter in the drawing by commenting. Of course, you got to subscribe to my channel. Comment and leave your gamer name on North American and European only. That's all I can do for now. Sorry, Asia server, but that's all I can do. But anyways, if you see me out there, make sure you say hello. Build will be ended in the video, and I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Cheers.